It's Erin Wilde, and I'm at a really cool place I can't wait to tell you more about. But we're gearing up because there's so much excitement surrounding Lake Fest. We're going to have a big party on the lake, Lake Granbury Conference Center. We have fun with families and live music and boats, and the kids can play with the party patrol. You can eat, drink, be merry all day long. But the best part about it, it's going to be a lot of fun for you and your family, but it all gives back to our community because sadly, when I say it's a really cool place that we're at, it's a need that isn't always easy to talk about. It's a very sad, real need and a lot of needs in our community. So I'm at Mission Granbury, and they do so much for the families in need because, you know, sometimes Dusti Scovel, Executive Director, you were telling me about all the different things that you do. And, you know, I've worked closely with domestic violence or food pantries or building wheelchair ramps for people who need help. And you guys are kind of a one-stop shop for all of that.
Correct.
I mean, you start with the food pantry. We can talk about that because the need is so high right now with inflation and families in need. How many families do you feed in our community?
I think right now we've seen an increase. It's been incredible. It's been like 213% more people now are seeking food than were in January.
Wow.
Back in January, we were seeing between 75 and 100 families a week. And now we're seeing like 90 cars in a day. And sometimes there are more than one family to a vehicle.
And if someone needs food, what are the requirements?
There's no requirements. They just have to show that not extreme requirements. They just have to have an ID that shows that they live in Hood County. We serve Hood County for our food pantry, so they just need to be able to come through and show their ID. And then we'll ask them how many people in their families so that we can keep up with, first of all, so we can give them enough food to feed that many people. But we also want to keep the demographics because we're always watching the trends so that we can be prepared. I think we weren't prepared for this growth and the need for food. I don't think we anticipated it. We thought after the pandemic it would subside a little bit, but with inflation and also I think the crushing utility bills, people have found themselves having to reach out and try to get food from food pantries.
Right.
We're only one of about 11 food pantries in the community, and we encourage people to go to the others so that they can try to be sustainable at least during this high time of high utility bills. So
it really is as easy as just driving through and saying that you need help. You are a member of the Hood County community, and you guys are there to meet that need.
Absolutely.
But it's not just food.
It's not just food. We're also seeing people who need help with rent and utilities. Some of them need help with medication. So when they come through, they always ask them in the food pantry if they need anything else. And if they do, they encourage them to come inside. People can call and ask for help with their rent and utilities. Sometimes we have medication. Sometimes people, like today, we've had a couple of people that needed special help. We try to really listen to everybody individually. It's no real cookie cutter case. We have our senior care program, and we have veterans assistance that are all part of the emergency assistance piece. We help with ramps and porches and home repair, auto repair.
Wow.
We have partnered with Good Samaritan Auto Ministries here in town. So when someone needs car repair, if they qualify, and that is for low-income families, if they qualify, then we'll buy the part and they fix it for free.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
It is a thing, and it's a big thing. So it's been, we also work with, if people have cars to donate, if they'll donate them to Good Samaritan, then he fixes them and he helps us provide cars for our domestic violence victims. So and he also does it for other people in the community. He works with the churches as well. Yeah. So one thing I can say about Hood County nonprofits is that they do work really closely together and try to collaborate so that we're not duplicating services. So we reach out and work with we work with Forward Training Center to help. Some of our people our stay-at-home moms who now have found they need to go back to work. So we try to send them over there to get training if they need that.
Wow.
So what we provide are very basic needs, but we partner with other people in the community to to try to give them all the things that they need.
Okay, and you brought up domestic violence. So let's talk about that because it is something that is not talked about often.
Correct.
I'm a survivor of domestic violence. So I know many times when people need the help, they don't know where to go because they don't want to talk about it or tell anybody. But you guys provide a shelter.
We do. We have the only domestic violence shelter in Hood County. And you're right, there's some kind of shame associated with making that call. So all of our staff is trained to take a hotline call so that we can make sure that someone who calls does get to safety.
Good.
We have a capacity of 21, and our shelter has been full or near full since the first of the year. So what we're seeing now is that we try to get the information and education out to people that there's no shame in calling.
Right.
That's what we're here for.
Right. It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. And so we try to get them to safety. Sometimes we have people in this community who need help, but they also need to put distance between them. So we help to provide transportation to get them to family or to another shelter that's further away. We also take an overflow from Dallas-Fort Worth area from those shelters. So we have seen an increase in the number of calls. They kind of subsided during the pandemic, and we expected them to escalate right after, but in fact it was a little while later, and now we're seeing them on the rise again.
And so you do have the shelter, which people can go and seek safety. But let's say someone has just left and started over with nothing. That's what I did with my kids. And I had such a need of, like, our safety was everything. So I didn't care about the stuff. But then you get in school starts or you're starting a new job, you need stuff. So you guys help with the stuff.
We do. So when they leave the shelter, or even if they haven't left the shelter, we have some domestic violence victims who don't need shelter, they just need help to get started over. So that's a non-residential victims assistance. We have that, which is part of the shelter, but it's just if they're not ready to go to the shelter. It also applies to men who are victims of domestic violence, and they aren't qualified for the shelter, but we do provide other services to help them. So we have the resale shop.
Yes.
Which is New Beginnings. It's over on Water's Edge, right across from the movie theater. And we're very picky about the things that we take there. So when you go in, you know you're going to get quality, as good a quality as we can possibly get in the store we have. We give vouchers to our domestic violence victims so that they can go in. We also have starter kits that include dishes, towels, sheets, all the kitchen utensils.
So you give these vouchers for not only domestic violence, but if someone had a fire,
if they have a fire or flood, or sometimes people have other situations where they had to start over. Not necessarily domestic violence; they're just starting over.
And you're there for all of them.
And so we have free cards that we give out, and they just have to qualify. I mean, all of the things at the shelter are domestic violence victims qualify, but then also low-income families who are starting over. Sometimes have been living with parents, and now they're just finally able to get out. Our goal is our mission statement is moving adults and children from crisis to self-sufficiency. So we always try to remember that we're trying to come back to the mission. Our mission is to try to help people be self-sufficient. So if they're moving out and they have to spend all their money up front to buy silverware and dishes, and we can give them something from the resale shop, it helps them to save so that they can kind of become self-sufficient quicker.
And so, if there's somebody in the community that needs that help, you're there for them. But also, I love to clean out and get rid of stuff and give it to somebody who could use it. So it's a great place to bring your donations.
It really is a great place. We get a lot of, we love getting, when people bring us work clothes, people will always come and say, well, these are really nice work clothes and I want to save them for the women at the shelter. So my message is the chances of us having someone at the shelter that are your size and have your taste are pretty slim. But if we put them at the resale shop and someone comes in and buys them, those funds go right back into those free cards so that the women over there can come and shop for what they like and what they want. I can tell you that I was a foster child, so being and having someone else buy your clothes, the most thrilling thing to me was the first time I got to pick out my own.
Yeah.
So we try to give that same dignity to the ladies at the shelter.
And that's another service, speaking of foster children, you know, because there's different places that offer this, or this, or that are CASA. You guys are also...
Yeah, we have a CASA program, which is court-appointed special advocates. They're also guardian ad litems. They are with a foster child from the time they are placed in foster care and the case is turned over to us, all the way through. They walk the whole journey with them. And sometimes that's the only consistent person they see throughout that whole thing. We also, I'm very proud of the fact that our program accepts every foster child that the judge gives us. Some programs are so big that they, and communities so large that they can't provide an advocate for each one. But we do, even if it's a staff person, and our staff travels all over the state of Texas to see the children, so that they do have that person and that face, and someone brings them something on their birthday, and someone really listens to them. It's a very important program, and we're always looking for more volunteers to serve as advocates.
So you guys are really just doing angel work for the entire community, meeting almost every need.
Well, we touch just about every population in the community. If there's a disaster like a wildfire or a tornado or a flood, we work with the Emergency Services Department. So we keep a list of all the resources, and we have an organized disaster resource team. They all have told us what they can do and how quickly they can do it.
Wow.
So in a disaster which affects everybody in the community, the Emergency Services Department just has to make one call, and then from that call we call out, it's kind of like a call tree, if they need water or if they need evacuation sites. During the wildfires last year, they needed an evacuation site for 315 people, and the YMCA and another couple of churches and a local camp were able to, within 45 minutes, they were like, okay, we're ready. They didn't have to evacuate, but at least the Emergency Services Department didn't have to worry about that.
That's amazing.
So,
now, with the money donated, you guys, you know, get donations from people, and at Lake Fest on September 30th at Lake Granbury Conference Center, a portion of what we bring in is going to go directly to you guys.
Right.
And
We're so
the
excited.
money, we are too, and so excited for what you do. Obviously, it's not a job we wish that we had to have or a place in the community, but thank you for being
but we're glad we can be here.
Yeah. But all of the money almost goes directly back to the person in need in our community.
Absolutely. We are funded. We have a little over a $2 million budget, and we have 6 grants that help pay the salaries and overhead. About 70% of all of our salaries and overhead are paid through those grants. The rest of it we pay from the resale shop revenues, and so that when people donate money, and I want people to know that they can feel good about the money they donate, because it actually goes back into the community. We spent so far this year, we have spent almost $300,000 just in utility and rent and medication and porches and ramps and people that have, you know, families that get bed bugs and they're going to have to leave their house unless we can help them get that taken care of. I mean, there are just so many crises that people don't know. We keep telling people there is so much struggling and suffering that you don't see. So you have to choose to see it.
Right.
And then choose to help.
Right.
Because it's there, but Granbury is real good about, we're beautiful, but there's a lot of suffering underneath.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we do a lot of those things, and it takes money to do that, and that's the money we use. Is when they donate to us, it goes into those funds so that we can actually put it back in the community.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's good to know. And you know, I mean, there's a lot of people who have a lot of compassion, who have gone through things, been a foster kid, and they want to give back. They want to find ways and want to help Mission Granbury. But at the same time, there's many who overlook it. So I guess with Lake Fest, you know, it's like the people who want to come have some fun and haven't always seeked out a place to help. Yeah, it's going to be a great day for everybody.
Yeah, it'll be good. I think if right now we're going through a food crisis in our food pantry, so I never would have thought this day would come when we would be low on canned goods. We always
Really?
have a lot of that, but we are. I think every food pantry in the community is really struggling right now, and that's a good indication of what's going on in our community. There is a lot going on, so any money that is received really goes back into from the very basic need all the way to the odd thing. I mean,
Yeah. So if someone was to drive by, I drive by you guys on my way to work, can you drop off canned goods?
you can.
Okay.
The only thing we don't take is like anything that you cooked,
Right.
because of health
You don't want my
reasons.
leftover lasagna from last night?
No, you can't bring that. Well, you can bring it. We'll put it in our kitchen. But anything like that,
Okay.
we can always take in our food pantry.
Okay. And how does someone go about, if you're someone who's struggling, maybe watching this in need right now, getting a hold of or coming in to receive that help?
The best thing to do is to call, and if you're brand new, then you have to make an appointment so that we can get all your information, because we do vet people. We feel like we have an obligation to the people that support us to make sure that we are making sure people qualify for
Right.
help. So we require that you have a photo ID, and we will. Our goal is to make you sustainable, so we have to gather some information to make sure that you qualify. So the first meeting is in person. After that, almost everything is handled by email or text.
Okay.
So if you need, once you've come in and gotten registered, then if you need help with your utilities, they can pretty much email back and forth. And if anyone has questions, they can always call, because at the front desk they can give them information about what the qualifications are.
Awesome. Can we go look around? Maybe take a look at that resale
Yes,
shop?
you
I'd love
need
to
to
find a good
see.
treasure.
You're gonna love the resale shop. It's amazing.
Awesome.
It's
Let's go.
amazing. Our food pantry is almost entirely volunteer manned. So there's probably between 20 and 30 volunteers that work back here at on different days.
Wow.
Today is a distribution day.
Okay.
I see we have some young people back here today.
Oh, good. Love to see that.
Hi. Yeah.
Hey.
These are our food pantry.
Now sitting on the job.
Our very busy food pantry volunteers.
It usually is busy a lot, but not right now.
Yeah.
You'll hear a honk. And then we'll have
Yeah.
So they just come right here, honk?
Yes. So
And then you-
So they come
okay.
right here, and yeah. So they
Okay.
drive They drive around there, and they pull up right here
Okay.
and get food, or they tell them what they want.
Okay.
This is where they show them their ID.
Wow.
And then once they tell them, they kind of tell them what we have, because we'll have different things on different days. So they'll do all of that. Oh, wait till
And
Andy.
so there's, some empty shelves.
Yeah.
The can.
They'll pack their boxes on these tables, and they take it from all of this. This is what replaced our 14 used refrigerators.
Wow.
So we're extremely,
And this was donated?
yes, very extremely, this was, the money was donated for us to have this built. So
Wow.
we had a foundation grant and a private individual that
Awesome.
donated the money, and we were very happy with that. So they will come around and pull things off these shelves based on how many people are in the family. If there are 2 teenage boys, they're going to pack that box
Yeah.
differently than if there are 2 toddlers.
I do know.
So,
Oh, and maybe if somebody needs a birthday cake.
yeah.
Ah.
So we got a little bit of everything, but this is an example of having, when we have more bread than we can use, then we
Yeah.
send some of it
Yeah.
to Rancho Brazos or to one of the
Oh,
other
that's
food
great.
pantries. And then after they get all the boxes, so here's some boxes that have been, they have some stuff started in these.
Okay.
They'll kind of come along, so everybody, it looks like, is getting a cake mix and some bread. They'll pack the rest of it, and then the cars will pull up right here, and the volunteer will take it and put it in the car for them. They put it in the back of the car.
Love it.
So right now, I think there's The Children's Advocacy Center is doing a presentation on reporting child abuse
Okay.
in our education center, or I would show you that room.
Okay. Oh my gosh, here we are at New Beginnings. Now, you may have been like me a time or two and just drove by and you had no idea that it was a resale boutique shop, which I'm always looking for a good deal and a fabulous find. But not only that, this all gives back to Mission Granbury. So here we are, it's 1204 Water's Edge Drive, directly across the street from the movie theater. Let's go in and check this out. It looks awesome.
So people donate furniture, and we have, we try to sell them all at really reasonable prices, so someone that's just starting out can come in and get some really nice things for not very much, really.
Yeah, everything is really nice. I mean, when I walked in here, it's not like a resale vibe or feel.
I think they really take a lot of pride in trying to make it really presentable and clean. They're meticulous about making sure everything is clean in here, and so it feels different when you walk in.
And so this shop is open for everybody to come shop.
Anybody,
Okay.
yes. And it's amazing how many people come in here and they don't realize that we are Mission Granbury.
Yeah.
We used to have some banners that we put in here so people know what they're supporting, but then we end up using them at other events, and so they end up not being here all the time. But we try to make sure people understand when they buy things here, that money goes back into the community to help other people.
So it's a win-win.
It is.
Shopping and helping,
I
my
mean,
two favorite things.
If they're starting a new job, I mean, all of the clothes are kept in a way that they can actually go and find what they need, whether it's casual or dressy.
Yeah. Let's look at some clothes. My goodness. Beautiful stilettos, White House black market. Yeah, really nice stuff.
Here's some. I think these have been in here for a while. They're so tiny.
Hello. Cute.
They are.
You're speaking my language.
Yeah, they have a lot of. So they try to sort everything. The volunteers work really hard. And what's funny is if you get someone like me that comes in to help out, and if I bring something and put it on a rack, a volunteer might come out and take it off the rack because they didn't quite make the muster. So they have all of the clothes and all are right out in the middle.
Okay. Oh,
They
and
try
yeah,
to
as you were
keep-
talking about work clothes.
Yes.
Work clothes.
They even have a section where they have scrubs.
I think that's what I just grabbed.
It might have been. They try to keep all the, oh yeah. So this is all scrubs and pants and shirts. So it's always, I know a lot of people may not know what to do with their old scrubs, but we get a lot of people coming in looking for them.
That's a good idea.
So those are adorable.
Oh, yes, they are. What size?
I don't know. Little size. Little
size. I
foot.
got big feet.
I do too, so I can't wear them, but I sure do think they're cute.
Yes.
So housewares, we always are looking for dishes and glasses and pots and pans and things that people can, particularly that our residents, when they move out of the shelter, we put together the starter kit boxes. So if we get good pots and pans in, we'll go ahead and set them aside to go in those boxes and dish, like if we get a set of dishes, instead of putting them out here, we'll probably put them in the boxes. So when they donate things like that, a lot of times they do go directly to victims of domestic violence. They just get set aside in a box.
That's great. Baby stuff.
Oh yeah.
What's back here?
This is the donations area.
Okay.
So when people drive up to donate, they'll come back up to this back door. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
So I'm good. So they'll bring things in back here and donate them, and then we have different stations back here. We have the quick sort where they'll sort through them for the first time.
Okay.
These people back here know exactly what they're doing,
Yeah.
and they're really, really good at it.
Yeah.
And they have a system, and they start there, and then it moves on.
Wow.
I came to volunteer during Christmas one time when they were short, and I learned real fast that shoes go in a certain place.
Yeah.
Everything has its place, but it works. And then they price them over here and then take them out to the floor.
Wow.
It's like triage.
It is a little like triage.
And it sounds like you're listening to Hank FM.
Could be. That's a good thing.
That's us.
That's okay, great.
Oh yeah, so there you were.
Yeah.
Um,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
we get formals in every year
Wow.
about prom time. We'll start to get formals, and we'll try. If we get them in, we'll save them and then bring them out closer to formals.
Gosh,
to
that is
time.
really good to know because I'm always looking for one. And once I get one, then what?
Yes.
Sitting
Then
in my
you wear it
closet, so a
once.
great place to donate.
Yeah, it is a good place to donate those kinds of things. There's a whole.
True story. Oh, actually, I have a huge box of gender reveal and baby shower stuff.
Oh,
Could I bring all that?
Yes, absolutely. We get a lot of people coming in here for baby things, maternity clothes and baby things, both clothing and just baby toys and
Yeah.
things like that. We have a gentleman that's been volunteering for about 7 years, and he just does books.
Oh,
So all the books, that we call it Ray's Corner, all the books go in one area, and he goes through the books and then puts them out on the shelf, and the puzzles and games.
Oh, I
and
love
things
that.
like that.
the more you read, the more you know.
Yeah. Then we have the children's section. So all of these.
Oh gosh.
So you can see if somebody gets a gift card to get clothes for their children, and it's $35. These are 2 for $1.
Oh my goodness.
They could get plenty of clothes.
Oh,
for
and
their
look
gift
at
card.
these. I'm about to go crazy. I got
Yeah.
two,
Oh, yeah.
2 grandbabies on the way.
Oh yeah, and this is I got a lot of things for my grandbabies in here, especially
Wow,
the newborns,
yeah.
because this stuff is like new and they just don't wear it that long.
Yeah. Yeah, no, sometimes you wear it one time. Oh, yeah.
So, are yours boys or girls, or do you know yet?
Both.
You got one of each.
One of each. Oh my gosh, stop it.
Yeah, these are so cute. I love the little girl thing.
Oh, precious.
So it's a great place to come and get
Yeah, it is.
baby items.
My goodness. Excuse us.
All the boots are in one place. They keep it really organized. I think it's easy to shop in here because
Yeah.
everything is kind of where it should be.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Love it. Oh, sometimes wheelchairs can be a big cost, but obviously a need. Awesome. There's a little bit of
A
everything in
little
here.
bit of everything for whatever you're looking for. You can probably find something in here to fit the need.
Great place to shop and to donate.
Yes, it all goes back to the community.
And so with LakeFest 2023, September 30th at Lake Granbury and Lake Granbury Conference Center, not only are you going to have a great day on the lake, boats, food, fun, live music, but you're giving back to all of the community in Mission Granbury. Thank you. Thank you for what you
Thank
do.
you.
This has
Thank
been
you.
awesome.
Thank you for helping us. We really appreciate being the recipient again. That's great.
We are happy to. See you on the lake.